I've got multiple things here, good, great things. Justice is happening for the Bush administration. With the first thing I want to bring up is the confirmation that there are white knights in the US military. My YouTube called US Military to Bush, We Will Not Allow a War, that was I read it off of worldreports.org from their article November the 19th. Now, that was confirmed by Ray McGovern on October the 28th when he was interviewed by Alex Jones's Jason Burmers. That's one of my favourites. Check it out. I'll try and do a snippet, edit it, and put it up. Now, what else I've got is another confirmation which come from a different source, which confirms World Reports, is another favourite that I've put up. It was called Bush Fled House Arrest. Now, that was read out by James Martinez. He got that, he says here, from Tom Hannigan, international intelligence expert. I think it was November the 4th. Could have been November the 3rd. But it's got some really great stuff in here I'd like to read. I'll just saying what he said, but just for United States of America, it can now be reported that White House occupant and sexual deviant George W. Bush Broad has fled Washington, D.C. and is now in his ranch in Crawford, Texas. Bush is therefore in violation of the restricted travel warrant, aka house arrest, that the US military placed on Bush Broad 2 weeks ago, which confined him to the territorial jurisdiction of the District of Columbia. As reported in the previous briefing, Bush Broad was confronted just last week by Delta Force military officers at Camp David, Maryland, when they became aware that Bush Broad was about to flee the territorial jurisdiction of the nation's capital, violate his travel restriction. Bush is about to face serious legal problems concerning his high treason against the American people, which members of the US military are about to charge him with after the US presidential election. And then he goes on to say more things about how others are squealing, and you'll Rice is fearful that there's going to be a terror attack on the East Coast in order to try and allow them to do things with their stolen money, get away with it. And Blair has rolled over. I mean, that's on World Reports. Now, what we've also got here is, it is none other than former Deputy Attorney General James Comey, who was illegally fired by the Bush Broad administration, that is compiling evidence of massive high treason against Bush Broad and is now cooperating with the US military, who are ready to charge Bush with countless crimes that even predate his illegal entry into the White House. Okay, so that's that. Then we've also got other things that I come across, which was Cheney was charged around November the 17th, I think it was. Cheney and Gonzalez, around November the 17th. I think that was on ICH, Information Clearinghouse. Yeah, it was. And then we also got, well, my thoughts about that are that I know that, according to that Martinez article, Cheney was underground at the time of that November 3 Tom Hannigan report. So for them to have arrested him, or charged him November the 17th, I'm guessing they probably got him and got him to go to this trial. So if they can get him, they can get Bush, even though Bush fled house arrest. So watch the internet for that one. Now, especially, World Reports and this Tom Hannigan. And we've also got here, number 4, assassination attempts on Blair and Brown. That also come out on Information Clearinghouse. And that was around, I think, the same time, November the 17th. That was during the G20, or I think when the G20 was going on. I'll try and put the exact website in more info. You'll see that if you go to the right-hand side of the YouTube video screen and below where it says my channel, thank you, White Knights. Now, there's another great video that I put in my favorites. It's called 700 Billion Must See. Now, there's a great part in that which I want to clip out and put into my own videos, and that is a part about how 9/11 was, the Pentagon was hit right where corruption investigators were. There's about 38 staff there working. So that confirms to me that all this is probably going on. That actually came out that one of the witnesses that is on that YouTube. I think it was put out on CNN or something like that. Now, that makes me think that World Reports is correct. They're talking about this Provost Marshal back in Article 91 about November, about the entire Citibank board being arrested. There was about 3,000 bankers arrested. I'm doing a lot of investigation into this, but World Reports also gets into NESARA. I haven't found NESARA anywhere else, like Alex Jones or anywhere else. But yeah, this Provost Marshal is actually being funded by the World Court. I think that's the ICJ, the International Court of Justice in The Hague. You can find that on Wikipedia. And that lines up with what NESARA.US's Dove reports about. She actually even talks about these the Delta Force and how they're going to play a role in bringing about this new financial system, which NESARA is, which is everything backed by precious metals and getting rid of debt forgiveness, getting rid of the Bush administration, and now with, of course, Obama coming in, I don't know, apparently he's been squeezed on, according to World Reports recently, by these, by I think the Provost Marshal. Now, coming up to 10 minutes. I've also found white knights in the the Australian military. If you watch Film Me Twice, which I think I've put up as one of my favourites, it's all about the Bali bombings and the link with the Bush administration. And something else I want to bring up is the so-called bombing that happened in Britain 2007 that they tried to link with this guy in Australia, this Gold Coast, on the Gold Coast. They were trying to pin him for something, but that all blew up in the bed spaces. I wonder why.